Today on the Overcorrection, the Bombay High Court has ordered the BMC to pay rupees 50 lakhs to the families of each victim of the Hotel City Kinara fire of 2015. Hopefully, this ruling will break the notion that Indian citizens have no ability to hold their government or its agencies responsible, and perhaps even give us a roadmap for how we can do so. Meanwhile, in Andra Pradesh, the government is going to provide incentives to families that have more children. Yes, you heard that right, more children. A far cry from all the population control measures we grew up with. What's going on there? And in other news, the popular food delivery franchise Wow Momos is being sued by a Dadar couple for hurting their religious sentiments by sending them non-vegetarian food. We're going to talk about what the Consumer Court had to say about that. And finally, the Railway Ministry is going to install automatic doors on all Mumbai locals. We've been talking about this for a while on this show. And finally, it's happening. While this is great news to celebrate, the tragedy that led to this is nothing to smile about. And quite honestly, it's just a concern that why we didn't do it so far. All this and more coming up for you on the Overcorrection. Stay tuned. Do you think it's impossible to sue the Indian government and actually win? Well, hopefully that deep-seated skepticism is going to be shattered. So nearly a decade after the 2015 Hotel City Kinara fire that claimed the lives of 8 individuals, the BMC has been held liable by the Bombay High Court. In a powerful verdict, the Bombay High Court has ordered the BMC to not only pay 50 lakh rupees to the families of each victim, but it has also explicitly overturned a Lokayukta ruling that previously had dismissed the family's pleas. It's important to note that this amount of 50 lakhs has not been deemed the monetary value of the lives lost or anything like that. It is simply a figure to clearly indicate the liability of the BMC in this case and also to vindicate the fundamental rights of the victims. The petitioner's lawyers have established a causal link using the but-for test. They have said that this event would not have occurred but for the fact that the BMC failed to enforce the fire safety laws despite repeated, recent and reported code violations. Now, it is not for me to speculate on why they overlooked these code violations, but I will. It sounds to me like there's some bureaucrat, some official who's taking an expensive beach vacation somewhere, and meanwhile 8 people lost their lives. All this being said, there is a positive takeaway, right? Gross negligence on the part of the government and its agencies, it is no longer status quo that it will be accepted. We can hold them accountable. Yes, it took 10 years. Yes, that is sad. But maybe next time it will take less time, and even less the following time after that. And eventually, hopefully, people will accept that in this country we cannot get away with this type of shoddy work that can lead to the loss of lives. Do you think India's biggest problem is that we have too many people? Because, well, that age-old worry that we all grew up with is about to be turned on its head. The Andhra Pradesh government is planning to offer financial incentives to families with more children. Yes, you heard that right, more children. Now, that is a stark shift from a state that up until November 2024 did not allow people with more than 2 children to stand for local elections. Putting aside that ridiculous law, now this dramatic pivot is not some whimsical decision. It's actually a careful and critical response to a demographic shift that has occurred, which we've all ignored while we've stayed focused on past discourse. Now, the need for such measures may seem counterintuitive in India. Right, we are the most populated country in the world. How can we have a population crisis of sorts? Well, it comes directly from India's plummeting fertility rates. Recent reports show that India's fertility rates are close to 1.9 now, well below the replacement level of 2.1. And yes, our population is an issue. It is the reason that we have a low per capita GDP, a reason there's great strain on our resources and our infrastructure. But strong population control and reduction measures are not the answer. If you want to see why, just take a look at some developing countries like Germany, Japan, South Korea, each which have per capita GDPs of over 30,000 but are going through tremendous economic issues right now due to an aging population. There needs to be a more robust, holistic approach to this. So for India, our task is actually a balancing game. We need to balance our current economic needs with our future demographic needs. It is a great move by the Andhra Pradesh government to start providing financial incentives to family, because in today's day and age, money is one of the biggest reasons people aren't having families. The fact that it is so difficult to buy a house in metro cities, the fact that cost of living is going up. The government is taking note and helping, and I think it is a great move. And perhaps other states will follow suit. If you are such a strict vegetarian, what are you doing ordering food from a non-vegetarian restaurant? This is what a consumer court has said as it dismissed the case of a Dadar couple that is suing Wow Momos for sending them chicken. This is quite an interesting non-case. Now, the court had noted that the couple failed to provide concrete evidence that they had ordered vegetarian momos. More pointedly, it questioned why, if they were strictly vegetarian and sensitive about their religious beliefs, they chose to order from a restaurant that clearly offered both vegetarian and non-vegetarian options. The 120 rupee special offer itself mentioned veg and non-veg, making their choice, thus the risk, seemingly theirs. Look, I certainly don't think the couple needed to have gone to court for this, but I also do feel that it is a bit unfair to expect vegetarians to order only from veg-only restaurants. It is going to severely limit their choices. But on the flip side, I think what the court is saying that, hey, if your response is going to be to sue the restaurant for a mistaken order in a consumer court, well, then perhaps you better stick to those veg restaurants. So I saw a lot of people online being offended that how can they say to order only from veg-only places? Well, they're just making the point. They're not saying order from veg-only places. They're saying if you are the type of person who is going to freak out so much at being sent something non-veg by mistake without any malice or anything like that, and you're going to sue a restaurant for that, then maybe it is best that you eat at veg-only restaurants, which I think is fair. Now, moving on, we have to realize that this ruling is not just about veg, non-veg, and momos. It is about what your responsibility is as a consumer. Look, mistakes happen in the food chain. There have been fingers found in ice creams. You are going to have to look at what you eat before you eat it. And let's face it, we're a country like India. Litigation is hard enough. It's not the United States where you're going to get hot coffee spilled on you and be a millionaire. So yes, India has a lot of issues in our supply chain. Let's put it that way. But when you're buying 120 rupees inclusive of delivery type of Momo special, realize that you are not getting the best people and the most incentivized people to sit and check everything is going your way. It is not a Michelin star restaurant. It is one of those costs that comes with having such a cheap labor economy country. Anyways, all that being said, I should add that the Dadar couple actually said that it particularly hurt their religious sentiments because they were having a puja at home. They, however, were not able to provide any proof of having this puja. No name of a pujari was given. But I must say, absolutely perfect choice of puja food. I've been to many pujas in my life, and one thing I always thought they missed was momos. Railway Ministry is set to put automatic closing doors on all Mumbai trains. This is a big move they've made after a tragic accident that claimed the lives of many people due to the fact that these doors were open while the train was moving. It is really good to see our government take swift action when something like this happens. You know, this freak incident, it could happen to someone else tomorrow. And, luckily the government has... Wait, what? This is not the first time this has happened? It's happened before this and they didn't do anything about it? How often does it happen? Every day? For the last 20 years? Okay, guys, wow, this story just changed from hats off to the government for doing this to, hey, why the hell did it take you so long? 3 people die on Mumbai locals every day. Did you just need it to become 6? I guess we know the cost of human life. So guys, if you ever want to be part of a tragedy that could actually create some change, let it be more than 3 people who are killed. Otherwise, we may not notice. Now look, things take time and we've said this before, but the truth is that there's this cost of doing business attitude in our country. Whether it is letting people fall off trains or whether it is just accepting that you have to bribe some official to get anything done. If we start accepting this as modus operandi, that is when we start failing. See, chaos, missteps, mistakes, corruption, it happens everywhere. It is just not accepted everywhere. And I think that is the fundamental difference we are going to have to make. So yes, please, put these doors on the trains. And then don't stop at Mumbai. Don't wait for another city to get populated enough till 3 people are dying every day and you won't care. And then one day, 6, 7 or 8 people will die and then you will wake up and put the doors. I don't have to be a structural or I don't have to be a train engineer to tell you that it's probably unsafe to have anything moving at that speed with its doors open. Anyways, a slightly negative note to end a positive story on, but I do think we need to expect more of our government than to wait for 6 people to die and then do something about it. Call me a pessimist. Anyways, that's our show for this week. My name is Rohan Paranjpe. This is the Overcorrection. As always, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more.